Oh, hello there. Yes, I'm making this and I'm being a bit of a jerk while I'm making this. But November 18th of this year, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet releases, and I'm going to be doing a 24-hour stream, and I would like to see you all there. That's right, November 18th. That's a Friday, 24-hour stream. I will be doing it, and I will be having fun. So come on by, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, do all that stuff, and yeah, we'll have fun. So this one's kind of more of a sadder video. But I think Warner Media suspected this was going to happen. I really do. Because until Flashpoint comes, the DCEU is still just in an awful mess, and it's a nightmare. But from bounding into comics, despite Henry Cavill's cameo as Superman, Black Adam bombs at the box office, and it's gonna be a bomb. It might eke out decently, but it's not gonna do good. And I disagree with bounding into comics on something here, so I don't always fully agree with bounding. I love bounding, but I disagree on them with something. Black Adam might have brought Henry Cavill back as Superman, but his cameo is not enough to keep the Dwayne Johnson led film from bombing at the box office, which this might be one of Dwayne's first real massive bombs, both domestically and internationally. That's saying something. But let me get up here. The film has only grossed $319.4 million at the worldwide box office. After their 3 weeks, it's only made 137.1 million domestically and 182.3 million at its international box office. It earned 67 million domestically in its opening weekend. However, according to the numbers, the film had a production budget of 200 million. That means that the film has only earned 1.6 times its production budget so far. Films typically have to earn at least 2 to 2.5 times their production budget to break even. And that's because a lot of the times they double the amount the production budget was for marketing. Granted, they didn't have a whole lot of marketing for this movie, so I'd say they have to make 2 times just to do decent. So it might squeak out a tiny profit, but very, very slim chance. Black Adam did exceed predictions for its opening weekend take. Box Office Pro predicted the film would earn 63 million domestically. As noted above, it brought in 67 million. As far as what the film would make domestically, my brain farted. That just didn't look correct. For its entire run at the box Office Pro predicted anywhere from 135 million to 175 million. It has already surpassed the lower figure. It's unclear how much higher it will go, given it will face stiff competition with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever this upcoming weekend. And that's true. And Black Panther is going to get a great opening day. Like, fantastic. Opening weekend is going to be the greatest for Black Panther, but I predict it's going to follow the Marvel trend of going downwards. So we'll have to see with that, but I don't see Black Adam doing very good this next weekend with Black Panther coming out. But let's move on. While the film appears to be hitting expectations, or maybe even slightly exceeding them, those expectations don't actually make the film profitable. In fact, as noted above, the expectations are below what the film needs to actually break even, depending on whether it needs to make at least 2 or 2.5 times its production budget. So we're about to get into a bunch of numbers, but throughout this whole article, I'm of the position that Warner Brothers has basically planned to get as much as they can for Black Adam, as much as they can for Shazam 2, for The Flash, and there was Aquaman 2. They're trying to get as much as they can for those. The idea is, because Zaslav came out and said Black Adam's going to be the start of our new universe. It is going to be the herald of our new universe. I don't think he meant the whole movie. I don't think he planned on the movie actually making a whole lot of money. I think what his plan was for that end credit scene. That end credit scene is what he wanted people to see, and that is what he wanted people to use to move forward. So I'm willing to bet they're more than happy to take a couple of these movies on the chin if it means in the future they can get profitable. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Black Adam is also at the bottom of the list compared to other DCEU films. The only films that it's currently beating at the domestic box office is Birds of Prey, The Suicide Squad, which was pretty good, but also it had the burden of being compared to Suicide Squad, which, unless you're watching the definitive cut, wasn't that good. And Wonder Woman 1984. The three... I like the Suicide Squad, I'll say that. It will more than likely surpass Shazam, as it's only 3 million behind that film, which grossed a total of 143.3 million. However, it has a long way to catch Justice League, which grossed 229 million. On the global side, it looks similar to the domestic grosses. However, instead of only being 3 million behind Shazam, it's 44 million behind Shazam. And what this movie really needed was to get into the Chinese market, and it doesn't look like it's going to get there. And I have an article on why it won't get in there. YouTuber OMB Reviews, Odin. Go check out Odin and OMB Reviews. He's a cool dude. Predicts the film will be massive financial flop if it does not get into the Chinese market, which it didn't. He went to explain by comparing the film to Marvel Studios' Eternals, it's seeming more and more that Eternals is likely going to be the bare minimum that this film makes around $400 million. Bolstering his point, he compared Black Adam and Eternals' total gross following the third Sunday. Eternals, though, was around 136 million, so this film is very much tracking domestically in the very similar way. Black Adam is still performing just a little bit better, but if the film continues to be somewhat similar to Eternals domestically and is almost exactly similar, if maybe just a hair better internationally, we're looking at a film that is not going to get to the $500 million mark. And it is sad, but the Shazam movie was never going to actually do that great. Not Shazam, Black Adam. Because, and this is, we're about to get into the bit of Bounding's article that I actually disagree with. I think the movie was just poor marketing. You didn't have Black Adam be Black Adam. Black Adam's not supposed to be an anti-hero or a hero at all. He's supposed to be a villain. And you used it to try to tease what you're about to be doing, which we're excited for what you're going to do. We just have to wait a while. And I'm of the position that Warner Brothers is willing to take a bunch of these on the chin right now and try to cut as much as they can as they work for what's to come. But as for why the filming isn't racking in the cash, the film and its marketing made it clear it was embracing wokeness through its casting. And I don't think this wokeness element is what turned people away. I really don't. Because it wasn't as prominent. Like, it's a thing. It's obviously a issue that they did, but it's not... I don't think that's the element that's turning everybody away. I think people were looking through that. I think it was that it was just an okay movie and not that good. It was a popcorn flick. That's all it was. It was like Transformers. The film features blatant woke casting, including a race-swapped Hawkman played by Aldous Hodge, and a race-swapped Cyclone played by Quintessa Swindle. Swindle also claims to be a non-binary trans actor, despite that being an impossibility, as humans are born either male or female. Non-binary trans actor. So, I haven't seen the movie. Is that Cyclone? I'm going to have to go off, yeah. And it's not happy that this movie is going to be a flop, but I think they have bigger plans in store, so I think DC it's going to take it on the chin, and they're not going to be happy, but some might argue that the audience are fading on comic book films. Not likely, and I don't agree with that argument, because comic book movies, superhero movies can be in any genre. They aren't just in their own genre. You can have a espionage spy thriller, you can have an action adventure, you can have a comedy, you can have all sorts of cool stuff throughout a superhero film. You just have to execute it correctly. I don't think this film was executed correctly. That's where I think it's failing. But for the top 10 grossing films of 2022 are comic book movies, but these are also diminishing return comic book movies. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which was crap. The Batman, which was decent, but way too long. Thor Love and Thunder, which was utter garbage. And Spider-Man No Way Home, which was amazing. While it's unlikely that audiences are tuning out of comic book films, another possibility is the confusion surrounding the DCEU. And I think this is the better argument on why this movie is struggling, and why moving forward, even the DC universe is going to have some issues, and you have some things you need to tie up and explain. Like, you have the Batman universe, you have the Joker universe, and now you're going to have the DCU universe, and you don't know where everything's going to be. That's why I think Flashpoint is going to become more important than ever before. Amid the Warner Brothers Discovery merger and David Zaslav's new regime, it's quite possible many stayed home, given they see Black Adam as a continuation of the DCEU, and the DCEU has had mixed respitions, especially with Justice League and Suicide Squad. Not to mention, one of the most recent DCEU installments, Wonder Woman 1984, was panned by audiences. And that's the problem. The DCEU has had some really crappy hits, so what they have to wait for is a movie that's going to be given good word of mouth. Another possibility is that Black Adam is not a top-tier comic book character. In fact, he's not even a hero in the comics, but rather a villain that is sometimes cast as an anti-hero or antagonist. For comparison, The Batman premiered in March of this year, and it grossed $134 million in its opening weekend alone. It went on to earn $369.3 million domestically and $398.2 million internationally, for a global take of $767.5 million. Batman is arguably DC's most recognizable and iconic character, and maybe the most obvious reason is that film just isn't really that good for a story perspective. And it's kind of sad that this movie isn't going to do as well as it could have, but hopefully moving forward, DC's in this weird pinch because they have, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, they have now 4 movies left that they have to put out, that they have to try to make some money and try to hype up. You got Shazam, you got The Flash, I said 4. What was the 4th one? You got Shazam, you got Flash, and you got Aquaman. All 3 of these movies have to try to make some money. What was that 4th one? I cannot remember, but and it'll come to me eventually. And I said it earlier, but those are a bunch of movies from the old regime that they have to get out of the way. And we'll see how they do it. Hopefully we can move forward and have everything fall into place better, but until they get out of the old regime's era, you're gonna be struggling. But with that, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like the video, share it out with all your friends, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now. So this is going to be really quick. I got done recording that last video and forgot to do this and explain the reason the Black Adam is going to fail. And it's because it was not allowed into the Chinese market because Pierce Brosnan has met the Dalai Lama. And China doesn't like that. So yeah, real quick aside, forgot to put this in the video. So now, bye for now.